Hello! Welcome again to the Retrocade podcast. It's Phil.
Sean, it's good to be back.
We're great to be back.
We got some new equipment now to make up for the previous technical difficulties.
Yeah, we had some technical difficulties in the last episode, but we promise that won't happen again.
Spanking new equipment, better quality and better tunes.
Brand spanking new. So we're about to make sure everything sounds glorious in this episode. What is this? Episode 17, right?
Yes, getting up there.
Wow, we're getting up there. So this is Happy Halloween. This is the post-Halloween episode, I guess. We didn't
post-Halloween, post-election.
Yeah, post-election. It's oh man, we're 2 days after the election.
What election it was.
Unbelievable. We can make beautiful deals out there.
This podcast is going to be huge.
It's going to be huge. This is going to be the biggest podcast, you understand? Believe me, I know how to make podcasts. Unbelievable. That's my best.
Yeah, it's marginal, but it gets the point across.
Oh my God, I can't believe Donald Trump got into office. Who'd have thunk it? Who thought that was happening?
The pundits were, completely wrong, 100%.
Oh my God. But my question is, did they really believe those numbers? Like, did they, or was it just all smoke and mirrors? Like, the media was like, oh, Trump's not going to get in. You better just forget about it. And, making people think, well, I better just vote for Hillary instead. Did they think that their polls were for real?
I think it's how much money they pay for these numbers and these pollers and,
it seems like a waste of money when it's all
these
bullshit,
campaigners.
right?
In college, I worked for a few campaigns, and it was
Sure
easy
did.
money. They give you, $200-300 a day.
Mm.
And to be honest with you, I did maybe an hour work.
No, that's no different than your Monday through Friday now.
Nah, listen. I
Nah.
work hard for my money. Booze has to be sold, right?
Yeah.
But, kind of caught everyone by, the day after, it was almost...
I was up all night watching it. I was actually
People
at the
were
gym.
depressed. It was dark. It was raining and dark the next day.
It was dreary. I was in Manhattan yesterday and it was dreary, but I was downtown Manhattan and it was quiet. I didn't see any of these protests, which is another thing I don't like. I didn't vote for Trump, but I also don't get the protests. It's not going to do anything. He's in now. His victory speech seemed calm enough. He's like, all right, we're going to unite everyone. All right, well,
he
you're the
seemed
president
happier
now.
than
Let's
I
see
never really
what-
seen him happy, but he had a kind of pep to his step because he didn't. Honestly, he's like, I really did it. I can't believe this.
This is shocking.
I am the most powerful man in the world, and he's the ruler of the free world, Donald Trump. And,
It's like almost for some people it really I guess is a nightmare. People are crying out there protesting, and for me I'm just whatever.
Well, it is a liberal nightmare, and liberals.
Is it though? But half his policies are not even conservative anyway. It's just that for more or less socially, I guess. Socially,
Well, yeah, I need
'Cause of the things
rights,
he
blah,
said.
blah, blah. I'm down, I don't
But
care.
he also said today, and listen, I'm no Trump supporter. I wasn't. But he was saying today, I'm going to protect the LGBTQ community. So he's trying to say.
I saw the picture. He
got
was
it.
waving.
He was
a flag.
waving the flag. He was waving the gay flag, the rainbow flag.
You know what? He has the opportunity to make a change. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. All right. I mean,
It could also be like 1930s Germany, but we'll cross that bridge when we get to
yeah,
it.
when we're all in camps and confinement and we're all.
Well, I don't want to be in a camp. But,
no, your Irish ass would not. But or maybe 50% of you would.
well, we'll see.
Sean's
Well, now he's blasting me for. Regardless, very interesting. Definitely 100 years election.
yeah,
'Cause
definitely.
The other election's been pretty vanilla.
Huey
Truman.
Huey Truman right now.
It's funny as Truman is.
I love that picture where he's holding up the
My favorite
newspaper.
story about Truman, he managed a clothing store.
Yeah.
That was his job.
That
at
was
one
his
point.
job?
And then 12 years later, he was president of the United States. He was managing a Macy's kind of deal.
Right. Well, imagine if that ever happened today. I guess this is almost like that, kind of. Not really,
Well,
though.
he was
but
just kind of a real estate mogul /
Trump's
jerk.
brand has been around for 40 years,
I saw this yesterday or the other day. The Simpsons in the year 2000 had Donald Trump winning the presidential election.
I think that was fake, though. I don't think that actually was what I think that was fake. I
They
don't.
had him on an escalator. It was almost a spitting image.
Yeah, I think that was fake.
Pretty
actually,
bizarre.
I don't think that was the actual. That actually was the. That's like somebody photoshopped that or edited it.
It was certainly floating around without a doubt.
No, I saw it myself. Yeah. I do think that was changed. Now in the episode, one of the future episodes where Lisa becomes president, that's she does make a comment. She says what does she say? She says, well, we've inherited quite a deficit after President Trump. And that was like in 2002 or something. So that they did at least say it.
They're pretty brilliant foreshadowing.
Definitely.
I mean,
there's so much. I think that there's all like these BuzzFeed things, 15 things that Simpsons predicted,
They just got locked in
They predicted
for
like iPhone iPhone and like stuff like that. In one episode, I think Kearney's got something in his hand that looks just like an iPod, and it's like a 1997 episode and stuff like that.
It's like when you see those, it's mostly YouTube garbage, but you'll see, time travelers caught, and they show like
I see. I'll get trapped into those.
They're interesting, but
yeah,
you see like a 1930s movie, and then you see someone with a phone walking in the background. You're like, what? It is pretty interesting.
It is weird stuff.
Like,
yeah,
it's probably some bullshit prop, or like
right. And what would a phone do you any good back then anyway? Because you don't got no service. You have no Wi-Fi. You have no 4G. What do you do? What are you listening
to?
to?
You got time G. So you talk.
Oh, you're saying that they're even further in the future?
Not like, bro, how's 2200?
Man, good. I'll see you there.
Yeah, I'm at this elephant set. Charlie Chaplin's dick.
I've watched a lot of that schlock on YouTube.
It's all YouTube crap.
YouTube fodder, when you're like bored at 2 a.m. and it's like, I'm still awake. Let me
Middle
click
of the
this
night.
for an hour. Middle of the night.
Like I saw one. It was like in Japan. There's like a parade, and there's a giant, and the giant's got to be 15 feet tall. And you see him, you're like, is that real?
Oh, really?
But then you kind of see like the comments, and like, yeah, if you notice.
Yeah, you always look at the comments, and either people are cursing you out and telling you about your mother, or maybe they'll have like a legitimate answer to what the issue is, But
so we're kind of in the dog days of fall. Not the big movies haven't came out yet, but Strange did.
Doctor Strange did. Sean, how was Doctor Strange?
Well, I'm going to see it actually this weekend.
Neither of us have seen it yet. Oh, with the next episode, we'll do a full review on it and talk about it. We'll actually, it's better that we do that. I mean, if we saw it, I guess we could have did a spoil-free review. But seeing as how we'll see it over the weekend and next episode, we'll do a full review. No spoiler.
Within a comic perspective, he's awesome.
I've heard good
interesting
things
character.
Yeah.
He's the biggest, I would say, mystic of the Marvel bunch.
Sure. Now, again, I'm not a huge comic book guy. I'm interested to see the movie. I hear decent things. People are comparing it to maybe as good as the first Iron Man or something. It's kind of like almost Inception, kind of with the.
I've heard Inception.
Yeah, I've been using that.
And I also heard I'm not 3D. It's expensive. Usually it's crap, but I heard
watch it 3D was good for this. Yeah, because a lot of movies are unnecessary in 3D. Like a good example of that would be like. Captain America Winter Soldier. You don't need to see Captain America Winter Soldier in 3D. Really, nothing happens. It's like a Bourne movie.
I remember years ago, I think I was in Montreal at the time, and one of the Harry Potters came out. Mm-hmm. So we're like, all right, let's watch it in 3D. And with the Canadian inflation, my ticket was like $30 fucking bucks.
Oh, but isn't the Canadian the Canadian dollar is more expensive, but
yes, it's about.
But it costs less money in U.S. dollars.
Yeah, but you're using Canadian money. Whatever.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So it comes out
to
like
35
Canadian dollars. Like that's a lot of dollars.
I would say the first 20 minutes of the movie were 3D, and then you're like, why did I spend $30 to watch Harry Potter?
It was, which one was it?
It was one of the later ones.
How many are there? Is like 7?
7.
The only one
7 was a 2-parter.
Right. Well, I only saw Deathly Hollows. Is Deathly Hollows?
I think that's the last one, but there's a 2-parter.
What's part 1 of the part? Do 2 parts?
Long time with Harry Potter lore. But speaking of which,
that was the only one I saw in theaters.
They're coming out with a new Harry Potter canon movie.
Right.
And,
so what is it going to be? A prequel?
It's a prequel.
Yeah.
It's about monsters and such.
Okay.
And apparently Colin Farrell does a stellar job. I'm gonna check that out. I was always a Harry Potter fan.
You saw all the movies?
I saw the movies, read the books as well.
You read the books as well?
You
were one of those people? I didn't. I was never a Harry Potter fan. I think I was kind of tuned out.
I wanted to coloring books and magazines.
Come on, when did the movie come out? In 2001, the first one, or 2002? I think it came out because I remember I was like in the 8th grade.
We have the internet. We could check.
I think it was 2002 because I was in the 8th grade, and when everybody was going to see it, I was like, well, I didn't read these books. What do I need to watch this movie for? So I just never got into it like that.
The thing was, how I discovered it was before it was all hyped.
Well, at the particular time, I was all about Star Wars. So it's like, well, I'm not gonna make this my Star Wars. I'm about Star Wars. I'm gonna wait for the prequels. That was like
2001. Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone.
Was it late 2001?
November.
Yeah. I remember when it came out. I was in the 8th grade. Yeah.
How I discovered essentially was I did a lot of traveling as a kid. Going on long car rides, train rides, what have you.
Sure did.
And you need a book to read.
Is that
So that was your go-tos?
You hear kind of...
How big are the books? 300-400 pages or more?
Yeah, but they're easy read.
Yeah.
It's not Tolkien where it's complicated English.
Right.
Or, it's meant for children, but it's engrossing enough where it got
where
quite
adults
wildfire.
can deal with it too. Yeah.
Yeah, I was going on a trip. Might have been like 10 years old, 9, whatever. And I got the book, and I was like, oh, this is cool. And then once you invest your time like that in a series,
you're locked in.
You got to read the next one.
No, you're locked in. Yeah.
Like if you read 3 books and book 4 comes out, you're like, well, fuck it, I have to read it.
Right.
The books were better than movies in my opinion. But they're for the Harry Potter fans out there. They said Dumbledore is confirmed for the sequel of the movie that's coming out now.
Really? Okay.
He's gonna be in the next one.
Okay. Well, that's like their Obi-Wan, right?
It's more of a Gandalf.
All right. Okay.
I know you put everything back to Star Wars.
Why not?
But,
who doesn't equate everything to Star Wars?
I'm a bigger Tolkien fan than you as well.
Did you read the books? I have the Hobbit.
I read
in there.
all the books.
All of them?
Everyone.
I have the Hobbit in there. I haven't finished it.
I've seen the movies. Have you ever seen the 70s animated movies?
I've bits and pieces. Yeah.
The
the
animation's
cartoons.
horrendous.
That's what gives it charm.
It's a very niche kind of feel to
I remember. Yeah,
it's gritty.
Didn't they just do the Hobbit for that, or did they just?
No,
they did the
did,
full movies.
I did the Hobbit. And they did. The first movie was Fellowship and Two Towers.
Right.
The third movie was Return of the King.
Oh.
So they made 3 movies into 2 movies, which is the opposite of the Hobbit, which is the new releases.
Yeah.
Which is about 200 pages, and they made it into 3 movies.
3 movies, which was ridiculous.
So
it was unnecessary.
How do you get almost 8 hours of footage in 200 pages?
They figure it's a book. We could just stretch it all out and make it 3 movies. It was unnecessary, but that was a funny.
Fake characters.
Yeah, they put in Kate from Lost as a character in the third one.
A weird dragon that just hangs out in gold piles.
Smaug. Why Smaug was in the book?
Yeah, but they made him very eccentric and strange. Right?
Yeah.
In the book, he was kind of just a standard dragon, let me kill you and steal shit.
Right.
And then this one, he had like kind of grimacing, kind of menacing character.
Yeah. Right.
And I also didn't like the elven dwarf kind of love story.
Right. Well, that was shoehorned in
that's
too.
sacrilege. Elves and dwarves hate each other.
True.
They always will. Even though they're fictional characters, their hatred is implied.
But that's all. That was all shoehorned. None of that was in the book.
Of course, there was necromancers.
Right.
The Brown Wizard was mentioned, I think, in like 1 page for 2 sentences.
Right.
And he was a major part of the movie. So it's funny is you have someone that's in the movie that has easily an hour of movie time, and he was mentioned for 2 sentences.
Right. No, it's stupid, but it's all about the bucks. I'm sure Peter Jackson wasn't the only one to be making those decisions.
Well, you don't only tell you something about Peter Jackson. Did you ever hear of him before The Lord of the Rings? I didn't know who he was. Yeah, he's a fat bearded guy.
Fat bearded Australian guy. No.
He's Australian?
Yeah, I think so. He's not American. He's Australian or English. He might be English. But
it can make sense. That's why he did all the New Zealand filming.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's why I thought he was. And every time I hear him, I think he's Australian.
Pretty interesting.
Yeah, he's New Zealand. Yeah.
Pretty interesting thing is, Flight of the Conchords, of course, pretty cult classic.
Sure.
Brett from Flight of the Conchords. He's a bearded guy, skinny, kind of hipster looking.
Yep.
He played like an elf extra in Lord of the Rings.
Oh, did he?
They filmed in New Zealand.
He's there anyway, right?
If you look at him, he has elfish features. He's very like skinny.
Yeah, skinny, like little
guy.
Yeah, got like scruffy hair, all patchy, scruffy hair.
He played an elvish extra in the background. I'm not exactly sure what scene he was in, but I know he was an extra.
You a fan of Flight of the Conchords?
Oh, I love them. Brad Germain, hilarious. 2 seasons.
Yeah.
And, it was sort of like an Ali G show, flash in the pan. It was great.
Right,
They got too big for their own bridges where they had enough material to do it.
Right.
It's such an engrossing, ingenious idea that,
Well, it's just like a joke band kind of thing, right?
So yeah, they go around. They live in Chinatown in a studio apartment.
Right.
And there's an episode
that was only 2 seasons, by the way.
2 seasons. Yeah. And their agent's hilarious, Murray Hewitt.
Okay.
He's a big guy, Rice Darby.
Is that on Netflix?
No. It's, HBO has no Netflix stuff. You noticed?
Right. They're not. They have no license agreement.
Because Netflix wants to incorporate everything. I think Amazon actually has exclusivity with them. I don't know.
Oh, do they? Is it on Amazon Prime? I have Amazon Prime.
It's not, but a lot of the HBO shows are.
You just pirate it off the internet. Maybe find it on YouTube or something.
If you haven't heard of it, they came out mid to late 2000s. Flight of the Conchords.
Yeah, I didn't
2
really. I
seasons.
know of it. Really, I didn't watch it.
And they also play music in the show. They
Well, that's the whole idea of it. It's just like it's kind of like a joke, though.
Oh yeah, they're like a failing band. And
Yeah.
They're completely poor.
How many
and-
episodes are there? Now you're making me want to watch it.
Oh, it's completely brilliant.
Yeah.
You know, it's funny if you heard of it. Someone's mentioned to you, a coworker or a friend.
Yeah. I don't know
but,
where I heard of it. A while back in college, you know.
Yeah, it's been off the air. I would say 8 years, maybe
Yeah.
6.
That's right.
But they do some shows too. They open for Chappelle.
Do they do it live then?
They do it live
That's
and they
funny.
play their
I would love
songs.
that would make sense. Yeah.
They
I
opened for
was gonna ask
Chappelle
that.
2 years ago.
Oh, did they? Back when Chappelle was still shit. It's unfortunate.
He's hosting SNL. I'm not.
Yeah, that's this Saturday, right? Chappelle. Be sure to DVR it.
I like
gonna be
some
bad,
of his
though.
bits. I'm not.
It's gonna be
There's
bad.
people
Listen,
that
I
are
love
worship
Chappelle.
Him. People worship.
What?
Him.
You didn't love Chappelle at his prime?
His show is
The show was great. God,
Absolutely
it's
bad.
hysterical all the time, and his stand-up was glorious. I
It
used
was
to
the
love
best
listening to his stand-up.
black sketch comedy show ever made, without a doubt.
Yeah.
With
Can
my
you-
favorite being the Prince blouses.
In my opinion, yeah, game blouses.
That
All
was-
of those bits are gold.
But
Everything.
and-
I have this warm feeling when I see it on TV. It's like, just leave this on, and just it's so enjoyable.
The shitty thing, I don't know if it's him.
It was so like because it was him and a few writers, and they would just mock this shit up, and it was like I remember watching a lot of it when it would come out. It's like it's doo doo baby. It was like
They
know.
had balls though.
They had balls, and it was like that show's so shoddily done, but it's great, like because nobody else is
And
doing
think
it.
about like Rick James became massively
Right,
relevant, and then
right.
he
And
died
he
like
died-
6 months.
He died right after that. I read that was
His
I was
story
in high
is,
school when that happened.
I might have read it like in a magazine or something.
Cocaine. I mean, he didn't
his
look like he was in that
story-
bad a shape, but I mean, that years of drug
he
use. I
he
guess.
smoked crack and cocaine. He freebased coke for about 15 years.
He died in August of 04, so that would have been like the second season of the
03 is
show.
when Rick James bitch came out.
Yeah, so the second season of the show.
And his story is unreal. He was a
yeah.
pimp in Buffalo, New York.
True. I heard
And
this.
he literally was a pimp. He had prostitutes working for him, beat him up, banged them, did what he had to do with pimps do.
James, bitch.
And if you look at him, he looks like just like a pimp. He dresses like
He
one.
dresses like a pimp.
The hairstyle,
Jerry curl.
everything. And then he literally said one day he kind of felt sick, like I can't, I like to degrade women, but this is too much.
He didn't want to do that anymore.
So he kind of went into a music career,
Mhm.
and he's also
Give it to my baby.
he has a famous story that so he's a big celebrity. And,
The first episode of Chappelle was January 2003, January 22nd.
and he died a year later.
When the episode, I don't know which one episode. I could check and see when he died because he died in, was it August of 04?
I just remember being in high school for sure.
Yeah, it was all high school. Yeah, it was 2004 February. He died it was February 04 when that episode.
Well, the thing is, you're doing cocaine for 25 years habitually, your heart's gonna explode.
Habitual. I mean,
Did
he's
he
a
die of heart
habitual
failure?
line
Did
star.
he die of heart
I
failure?
think so. Hold on, let me see. He died in August. That episode was in February.
So 6 months for almost the day.
Practically, yeah, to that episode, and he was huge at that point. And I remember I'm like going to checking my email, and I see it like on AOL News that he died. And I was like,
well news.
yeah, and I was like, that episode really just came out. He just died.
Speaking of AOL, I heard on the radio the other day that You Got Mail, that The Voice.
You've Got
he's an
Mail.
Uber driver in Ohio.
No way! Wow.
You can look it up online.
I
Might be
gotta
on
check
YouTube
that.
at this point. And he does the voice.
I still use AOL for
Identical.
my personal
You
mail.
Got Mail. That voice, that man is an Uber driver in Ohio. So clearly he didn't get any
I'm looking at the voice behind AOL's "You've Got Mail" and Uber driver was paid only $200 for the slogan. And now,
$200.
how many times? Imagine if he got royalties now. Every time
He got
that's
half of 1 cent.
say he got a fraction of a cent. Say he got
1/10 of a cent.
Say he got 1/10 of a cent, or even of 100th of a cent. How much money do you think he would have made?
Well, at least
It is true because I'm
enough
looking at the article.
to
Here.
buy a fucking house and live, not driving Ubers
He's
in
an
Ohio.
Uber driver. That's insane.
I mean, he should use this kind of news to get a voice gig somewhere.
Oh yeah, here's the video of it. Hold on, I'll put it on the thing. That's him.
You Got Mail. Yeah, the voice is identical. It's pretty interesting.
He's an old man. How old is he?
I only heard on the radio. I didn't see the video.
Elwood Edwards.
Yes, that is the name.
Here,
Sounds fictional name.
here, come
too.
over here for real quick.
It's
y-
all right.
You know, you don't want to look at the video. It's funny.
We'll put it on the Facebook page.
Yeah,
YouTube
yeah.
as well.
I actually just I had it on here. Yeah, so he was paid $200 for the recording. I recorded. Welcome. You've got mail. Files done. Goodbye.
I don't remember Files done. That is the only one I don't.
No, I remember that. I used that all. I used AOL
I was
a lot.
more of an AIM guy. I didn't actually have their service.
I had it all. Yeah, I used
I
AOL.
did like Netscape and shit. And,
I used AOL pretty much for everything, including AIM, until Facebook Messenger got popular, and then AIM went the way of the dodo.
I think AIM, the last 2006. I remember the last time I was still using it. So now it was dying.
Maybe a little later than that, but only because I got on. I've had a Facebook since 2007, so that's 9 years, almost 10.
I think I'm like 2010. I was late.
Yeah, you were late bloomer. You were late. You were even after that, probably. I think 11 because in fact I just got the little Facebook notification. You've been friends with Sean for 5 years, and it's like, oh, and that was when he made the account.
I purposely was like, nah,
yeah, you were out
I don't want to go off the grid. Then it's like
you couldn't, especially you who likes to network and shit.
And people, abroad and.
Yeah, you make
friends
you
in Canada.
Yeah, you
such,
Sean's
Detroit,
makes
whatever.
pals in fucking every little crevice of the world. So he.
It's useful, people.
I like my contacts, yeah.
Necessary.
Mad necessary. But yeah, so he waited a while. I had it in 07. I didn't use it until 09. People using MySpace. Did you have a MySpace?
I never did, but
never had a
ways
MySpace.
You could creep and look at people's shit, and
How did you creep? Tell us your creeping abilities.
Not creeping, but you could read people's MySpace. It wasn't Facebook where you need to log in. You could
True.
Just
they weren't private, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah. So you have like an ex-girlfriend or something.
You could go on there. Yeah.
Gander.
MySpace was a lot more racy. Maybe it was because we were in high school, but I remember just girls putting up much sluttier pictures. Maybe just because we're adults now.
Yeah,
I don't know.
If you're looking at 16-year-olds half naked now, you're like, shit,
Ooh,
no good.
Yeah, that's terrible. But I guess it was different then. But I also felt it has to do with more like Facebook's more of an adult thing. You have family and your grandma might be on it. Who knows?
Well,
so a lot of people tone that down
something that
too.
Facebook is with the millennials and such. It's dying down. It's
Yeah,
super popular with the elderly.
Yeah, because it's good for us to connect. Us old
like,
geezers now.
Class of 70.
The kids don't like it because that's for old people now.
Oh, on Instagram, I get
They're
likes.
or Snapchat. Snapchat's much bigger.
I used Snap for about 2 years.
Use Snap.
It got pretty just boring and basic. What my little
Yeah.
cousin's like, I have 200 friends. I'm like, you don't even know 200 people.
I don't see
kids.
They love it. I don't get it. The purpose you take a picture and it disappears.
It's
I like
for,
my pictures there, so I could go reflect on them. That's why you take a. What the fuck? Hold on. That when I originally heard about it, that's what I thought it was for. It's like, oh, you take a dick pic and then it deletes itself.
Cool videos back in the day, but they're gone.
Well, that's my point. Is like.
Didn't Facebook offer them some absurd amount of money? It was like $1 billion.
And they turned it down. Yeah. They did the same thing with Instagram, but Instagram took it. I mean, if you were.
See, Twitter's dying.
Is Twitter dying?
It's hemorrhaging money. I mean, it's not dead.
Yeah, I don't have stock in them, so neither does Sean. Buy Twitter, short the stock. Yeah, I have a Twitter. I use it very sparingly, and that's it. And so what are you gonna do, But so also on the agenda is Power Rangers. What are you thinking about this new Power Rangers movie? Or better yet, let's talk about the fan-made Power Rangers thing that they did for a second. I think we went into this once before, but we'll talk about it.
So recently, friends all Power Rangers, gotta check it out.
Sure.
And as a kid, you relate to Power Rangers. It's 5, 6 years.
I was a fan at the age of 5 in 1990.
I don't even remember watching the last memories of Power Rangers was the Green Ranger, and
sure.
It became the White Ranger.
I was done. I think after that, Ivan Ooze movie was the end for me.
Yes, and I know McDonald's had a tie-in, which any movie like, Mom, I need to eat cheeseburger.
I need to eat the cheeseburger and get all these shitty toys.
Yeah, so the Green Ranger, White Ranger were cool to me.
Sure,
they're my favorite character, and
yeah, I like the Green. Well, what was the difference between the Green Ranger and the White Ranger? Were they the same guy?
He
turned into
first,
and then he turned into the White
Ranger.
Ranger. Yes, I remember. Okay.
And he was like an MMA fighter now, or was. I think he's got to be too old. He's got to be in his 40s at this point.
Probably. Oh, you know what? I think I looked this up recently. They're not that old. They were all mad young. Even the Green Ranger was the oldest, and during the movie shooting, he was 20. So they were like maybe
he'd be 40 now.
He'd be maybe 40
That's
now.
a little old for MMA fighting.
Yeah. Well, how old's Chuck Liddell? He was doing it. He was over 40.
Pat Shamrock. These guys.
Yeah, they're old wash-ups. Sure. But I guess, yeah, typically they're too old. But.
So anyway, it's interesting to remake it. It was a huge franchise 20 years ago. And, the millennials will all relate to it and probably go. So I'm hearing all this hype. Although the trailer came out. Bryan Cranston's playing
Zordon.
Zorban is...
Zordon, not Zorban.
He's a feminine Dragon Ball Z character.
Oh.
Zordon, I guess. I just remember being his blue head.
Yeah, he's the head. Rangers. And I love if you go on YouTube and watch the intro to it, like the full intro. It's so ridiculous. Like, Alfalfa, Rita's escapes, recruit teenagers with attitudes. It's like, oh, you need teenagers with attitudes? That's gonna save the day? It's so ridiculous.
Teenagers with attitudes.
We need attitude.
Wait, he's a Navy SEAL. No attitude. We don't want him.
We don't want him. We need attitudes. We need badasses for this.
Elizabeth Banks is playing Rita. She's pretty cute.
Yeah.
Plays this kind
That's factual. I haven't even been looking at the
I believe
casting.
so.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at the previews just, a little while ago.
Sure.
The first one I look into, it's, a couple 100,000 views.
Right.
I'm like, oh, this looks cool. There's all this action. It's pretty interesting.
That's the fan-made one.
And then I see James Vanderbeek. And I'm like, what the fuck?
Who the hell signed this guy to a movie deal?
He's still alive? Like,
I thought he friggin' retired to his home in Malibu. What the hell? The last thing I seen
it's
him
like hiring Scott Baio.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly. Some 80s wash-up. Like, the last time I seen Vanderbeek do anything, or Vanderbeek, it was in Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back. They were playing them in the movie.
and he was a wash-up then.
And he was a wash-up then. Yeah, it was like, that was the ass end of his
Dawson's
career.
Creek.
Dawson's
and then
Creek.
He
that
played
was it.
Varsity Blues, and then that
Right.
was
I
his
didn't-
pinnacle
yeah,
of his career.
That was it at that point, yeah.
So I'm watching both of them, and I'm like, I don't know which
Right.
one is the actual trailer. So then I see the actual real one, and I'm like, this is strange where the fan-made shit's better than the real one.
Right.
The real one was like this teen angst movie. You see them
Yeah,
kind of get powers at the end.
Yeah,
But it wasn't-
they don't even really show the costumes in the.
But it wasn't
just
like them
kids.
having powers. It was
No.
never.
We showed at one point they were like jumping really far, high Matrix style,
Um,
over a mountain. Across a mountain.
it's not Megatron because that's Transformers.
Zordon, the Zords. They were the Zords. That's where they're like. They didn't show any of that though in that
I
in the
didn't
real
see it,
trailer.
and that was the best part of the show was the Godzilla
yeah,
style fighting.
right. They all turned in. At the end, they had to get big and turn into their shows.
It was a complete copy of Voltron. If you ever seen that, it's,
yeah.
Netflix actually just released a new kind of cartoon.
They
version.
had toys of that, right? Because I remember seeing Voltron toys as a kid and being like, "This is fake Power Rangers."
Well, Voltron came out in the '80s. Power Rangers is a complete knockoff.
I
But
know.
they
that-
made like
I
a
know.
live
but
action
I
version.
didn't know that, right?
And what sounds cool? Power Rangers or Voltron?
Do you like Power Rangers better? I think they both suck.
Yeah, I mean, I was never a Transformers fan either, but Voltron. If you look at it, Voltron came out an easy 8-9 years before Power Rangers.
Sure. You talking about Voltron from Transformers?
No, Voltron is
The
its own
show?
show.
Oh.
And they are
Yeah, okay. All right.
kind of a team, and they have little robot animals that connect to a huge.
No, I
humanoid robot.
remember like
But they felt
toys
like
of
aliens
that,
and
because
stuff.
I had older cousins that I would get their hand-me-down toys from the 80s, and I had a lot of shit toys like that. In fact, I got my first, like the original Chewbacca figure from 1977. I had that in my basement here, and I remember seeing it. This was before I seen Star Wars. I first seen Star Wars, I think, 94, 95. So before that, I knew what Planet of the Apes was as a kid.
I love Planet of the Apes.
So
huge
as
fan.
as a 4-year-old, so I look at this figure, the Chewbacca, and I was like, oh, what is this, like a Planet of the Apes toy? And I remember just tossing it. But for years, and then I realized what it actually was. It was actually just as a 1977 Chewbacca.
It's funny. There's some awkward 70s toys that are worth insane money because they were
Sure.
so crappy that people are like, I don't want this.
Oh, sure.
Like,
Well, the $6 million man figures are very expensive, but those are probably not in the same
there
level you're
was,
talking
I
about.
think it was Indiana Jones, the first release of figures. There was a horse figure.
Oh,
It was
yeah.
just a little plastic
So that's
horse.
1980, 81.
And they're like, no one wants the fucking crappy little horse.
Crappy horse.
If you have the horse, it's on box. It's a typical term within the collecting.
Sure.
Or-
Mint in box.
$2,000,
Yeah.
$2,500.
Just because, and that's the thing is like people who buy things like nowadays, like like you buy in a Pokemon cards and expect them to be worth hundreds of thousands. Like, don't forget, they produce so many of these things that it's like it's the things that are offshoots or shitty now that collectors be like, oh, remember that? That was terrible, but they only made 100 of it.
I
So
have two
it's-
examples of cards. So the original Ninja Turtles run, they're massive action figures. I bought them as a kid, loved them.
They were
The original collection, I think it was about 7-8 figures.
Uh-huh.
April O'Neil was the most valuable.
Right.
Because it was a guy's, boys watch Turtles.
Sure. So not
They
everybody
don't
was
want
buying
April.
April O'Neil.
So no one bought April. And
Mhm.
like at the time, Toys R Us, 1990, Aprils were full in the shelves.
Right.
And no one bought them.
Stocked filled with April O'Neils.
And now Aprils are the
The
rarest
most valuable
fucking thing,
one
because
everybody
got
else
destroyed.
Exactly.
Toys
Liquidate
R Us is
these
like, we're
things.
not selling these.
Melt them.
Hey, Playmates, give
Yeah.
us our money.
Liquidate them.
They got like burned.
Yeah.
So, another perfect example. Well, you know what the holy grail is of Star Wars action figures? The most valuable figure.
What, the Boba Fett?
No, more. It's the Black Lotus magic term. Vlix on box. So Vlix was a villain in it was a Droids cartoons show.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
It came out after the movies.
Are you sure this is worth more than the Boba
it's
Fett
the holy
with
grail
the
of-
shooting?
It's the holy grail of Star Wars action figures.
Did they mention this in the what's it called documentary?
Yes.
They mentioned it in
It's Pinnacle.
Galaxy.
So,
What was the name of the documentary? Plastic Galaxy.
yes.
Yeah, Plastic
So
Galaxy.
the reason
Good
why this
documentary.
figure's worth so much. So the Droid series was kind of underperformed, and Star Wars was dying out at that point.
Right.
And
This is like 85, 86.
so
after Return of the Jedi, which was
this
83.
character Vlix, who was like a villain in the show,
Mm-hmm.
so they discontinued the run, the figures in the U.S.
Okay.
But they had a second run of figures that came out in Brazil only. So it came out only in Brazil, and Brazil mid '80s is the only way you can buy this figure at a store.
Right. Couldn't go anywhere else. Just Brazil.
So they only said that maybe 20 of these survive on card,
Oh my god.
and you can probably get a mortgage for a house, especially with the Star Wars inflation and the
Oh sure.
fandom that it is.
Factor everything in.
It
yeah.
is the holy grail of.
How many did they make?
I don't know the run exact, and there was copyright issues where I couldn't release in the U.S.
Oh yeah.
But Vlix, I want to say VLIX perhaps. Vlix on cards, a famous term. He's like a little green alien guy.
Yeah, I
he has
see
like
him.
a suit. It's the most valuable Star Wars.
I see a custom one. Custom means somebody made it going for 75. So that's just a custom.
Some fan made shit $75. Fan made.
Yeah.
You realize
Right.
you can't even find the real one for sale. They're in collectors' dens. They are not on the market. If one goes on the market, it's like Sotheby's is doing the auction.
So I'm looking at I googled it real quick, and I'm on the Star Wars forum, and somebody says, "Hi everyone, I came across a Vlix on card at a
And it's in Portuguese, by the way. The
Yeah.
card is on Portuguese.
Yeah.
It's Brazilian.
he's like, I found a Vlix at a garage sale for $10, and then this guy's saying no, it's custom, hand painted, blah blah. So it's a fake, yeah. But I guess the real one is just hard to come by. Unproduced, here he is. Yeah, Vlix. So he's like a fat blue kind of.
I never seen the cartoon show.
Oh, Droids? Nah, I never watched. That was before my time. 85.
I think it was off
86.
the air before we were even born.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, it was like a 2-year run.
And you gotta realize the late '80s was when Star Wars was dead.
That was Star Wars vacant. Star Wars vacant maybe from 86 to about
95.
90. 91 is when Timothy Zahn came out with the Thrawn trilogy, Heir to the Emperor. Heir to the Empire.
On a commercial aspect, you're not making figurines.
No, not at all. Until
they,
95.
They re-released
exactly.
the trilogy, and that's one of the ways actually how we met with Star Wars. We're about second grade chat.
Yeah, second grade, yeah.
And I saw the movies recently, right
Me
around
too,
that
yeah.
time frame.
That-
My uncle's
yeah.
like, yo, check this
Yeah,
out.
yeah. I'm almost
mesmerized.
positive it was Christmas Day 94, 95 for me. Star Wars was on, and I have in my uncle's house, and I have these memories in my head. Picture of Vader, his skull, the droids next to the crate dragon skeleton. Like, these are the first images in my mind.
I was
of Star Wars
mesmerized.
as a
I
kid.
love a lot. It's like the cantina and the droids, and it was almost like a western.
Yeah.
It was like in the future, but it was
Yeah.
also a long time ago.
Yeah, it was
So,
gritty and it was everything. Yeah,
As a kid, you're like,
it was
what the-
mesmerizing. Yeah,
And for '70s,
yeah.
it's funny. My boss told me a story.
Yeah, and it
about-
was around a while already, so everybody knew about it. It was a classic already, so that actually gave me more intrigue. He's like, oh, everybody liked this, This
As
is.
far as my boss told me a story, his son's maybe 8, 9 years old.
Mm-hmm.
My boss, was being 15 years old when Star Wars came out. So he's all about the originals and stuff.
Sure. Yeah, a lot of people
So
like
he
that.
told me his kid likes Star Wars. So we're chatting about it, and he's like his kid likes the newer trilogy, and of course a new movie.
Who, he likes the prequels or
The prequels.
Okay.
So he shows his son oh, you gotta watch these ones. These are the good ones. He's like, Dad, this is terrible.
Oh
this
my
is
god.
so weird. I don't like it.
You gotta have them watch the originals first. They don't. He'll
It's this
grow up.
generation with the technology and the graphics. They're like, what?
Yeah, this isn't you. They're not using.
These are Muppets.
Yeah,
This isn't computer graphics.
Yeah, exactly. They're so used to the computer graphics. Get them to watch the originals first, and that's it. But they'll realize as they become. I mean, if they have any interest in film at all, they'll realize the real truth once they become
9-year-old
of
knows
age.
what film they're watching.
No, of course, it's but that's all just integrated in their heads. But
the Power Rangers, to get back to that, and we'll finish it off.
Finish it off with the Power Rangers. Yeah.
I was actually kind of disappointed. It looked pretty teenagey angst. It looked like
I would have preferred them to do the fan made one.
it almost
with
looked like
Vanderbeek.
Twilight. Like, I'm in high school. I'm getting picked on.
I think it's gonna be a
And they
piece of shark.
They weren't fucking superheroes. They
Nah.
were like this.
Hey, you know what it looked like a lot to me. It looked like that awful Fantastic Four movie.
No, I mean, did you even watch it? Because I seen it. In
Yeah,
theaters.
no, I did. I watched it.
I saw it in theaters. It was me, 2 of my cousins, and the 4 other people. There was 7 people in the theater.
You had 7 people go to that. How many left?
And it was disaster. So we're
was
like,
a
yo,
wreck.
let's leave. You saw straight out of Compton.
Ha ha ha! Winter. Oh, that was which was much better.
This was last summer, so it was
Yeah.
about a year and a half ago, give or take.
Yeah, like last August or whatever.
Dog shit.
Yeah, I would have much rather seen Straight Outta Compton. That was much better than that.
It's funny how they have such difficulties doing Fantastic Four. It's been a disaster throughout its run. It's never been successfully done. And as a kid,
The other ones that they made were much better, and they weren't even good.
it's the first Marvel product in the modern age of their success that was shit.
Yeah.
Just complete shit.
Yeah, because you had Spider-Man movies that were hits. That was before Iron Man.
Well, the Tobey Maguire.
Those were hits. The first one.
That was the biggest. That was
They
the
were big.
beginning of
They were-
Marvel's rehash.
Of course, yeah, they were big commercial hits. And they and the first and second ones are good. The second one's
Actually,
good.
On topic of Marvel movies, a big movie coming out. Logan. Title's Logan.
Yeah.
I don't know how much
Yeah,
you
they
know
do.
about it.
Yeah, let's talk about the Logan for a minute.
So this is Hugh Jackman's last go.
This is
as
his last
Wolverine.
go as Wolverine.
And I realize he's been doing the character for like 16 years.
I know.
X-Men 1 came out, 2002? 2000?
No, it was earlier than that, man.
2000?
2000. It's 2000. Yeah.
So that's 16 years. Done. I had it right. Could even be 99. I want to say 2000, X-Men 1 came
Yeah, it
out.
could have been 99. I think it's 2000 though.
And
2000. Yeah.
you watch the trailer, right? They're playing Johnny Cash. It's all gritty.
Yeah. They're
It's
playing
rated
Hurt,
R, by
yeah.
the way, which is
Oh my God. Yeah, July 14, 2000
it's
by
gonna be a
Bryan
huge
Singer.
movie. Huge.
Mm.
So you see a few things. Some things that are notable for me. There's like a little girl that he's kind of either mentoring or help saving. You can't tell. That's X-23.
Right.
People that know, it's another. So they kind of do these genetic type experiments with people have healing abilities to make them kind of killing machines. So X-23 essentially is a female Wolverine. So Logan to me has elements of 2 comic arcs. Is Old Man Logan, which is very infamous, and Death of Wolverine.
Sure.
Both of them, he's losing his healing abilities, and being Wolverine, you have a shit ton of enemies.
Naturally.
So everyone's going to kill him, and he's trying to do his righteous kind of, and
Right.
his backstory. He's from like the 1800s.
Mm-hmm.
He lives in like he's Canadian.
Naturally.
Lives in like the fucking, he likes to live in the Canadian woods essentially when he goes on his off time. And what's funniest too is you've never seen him in like the quintessential orange jumpsuit.
Never once. They did.
He rocks some leather here and there. But
They allude to that in the first movie. What were you expecting? Yellow spandex? They say that in I think the first X-Men when they give them like the black outfits.
to be honest, Hugh Jackman is a perfect cat. He has the look.
Yeah. Well, he's not how Wolverine's supposed to look in the comics, but how you would market him in a Hollywood
Well,
movie.
in a real human perspective.
Yeah. Because you're not going to make a little freak, because that's what Wolverine looks like. He's like a little hairy freak.
Yeah, but Hugh Jackman has his characteristics.
Sure.
He looks like he looks like what Wolverine would look like.
Yeah, if he was a full adult, not like an actual mutant freak like he is in the comics. Yeah.
Well, the comics. What they never explored much in the movie. Well, the original X-Men trilogy was shit.
What? The movies? No, they're not.
You rewatch them.
1 and 2 are good, just like I said with Spider-Man. The first one's fine. The second one's good. The third one's blah, which is usually the case with trilogies, I guess.
They aged poorly, in my opinion.
No, the second one's good. The
X-Men
second one's
3
watchable.
being the worst of the worst.
No, I don't bother with that, but which I saw them all in theaters. That was 2006. I saw that in theaters that summer.
I did as well. I remember saw Gary and Brandon. Trey's reference for local listeners.
Yeah, shout out to the locals, Gary and Brandon.
Nah, but this killing off of everyone, just shameless destruction. Like,
yeah,
there was no rhyme or reason.
And that battle at Alcatraz, we're gonna fight at Alcatraz.
This is another thing. The Juggernaut, such a fucking
I'm
cool
the Juggernaut,
character.
bitch. Let's ruin him.
Let me get an Australian guy that looks like he hangs out in bars and just run through walls and do nothing.
Yeah. Yeah, they didn't put too much effort into making that character good.
X-Men probably my favorite of the Marvel comics, I would say. Not individual storylines, but I always loved the X-Men more.
I love the X-Men.
Avengers.
I loved X-Men as a kid. I loved Spider-Man as a kid, or liked Spider-Man as a kid. Overall, Batman is my favorite of all the comic book.
See, we're lucky our friend Fat Mike's not here, but he's being a sloth.
Yeah, he RSVP'd yes, but he couldn't make it.
Even though he's blocks away, but we're not getting into that.
Yeah, we wanted to get him on again because the last episode, I think the last half of it got a little. The static was too much for people to bear. Got some bad feedback on that, but
yes, that was on us, of course, and
a little shoddy technology. We had to.
We had to upgrade. And,
we had to upgrade.
I hope you guys have
No, the quality. Yeah, the sound quality is good. It's. I mean, it's the first way you lose listeners. People like I can't listen to shit. They exit out.
We were, we're in the past. We were Time Warner cable, AOL.
I wasn't even using a MacBook. Now at least I'm using
digital
my MacBook.
print. Now we're online.
Yeah,
so we're making those moves. No more telegrams.
Wired. Yeah.
So Stranger Things 2.
Yeah, you ready for that?
So, in my opinion, the best original Netflix. Because I don't give a fuck about Kevin James movies and Adam Sandler movies 15.
No.
Which
Adam Sandler, yeah, the was the Disgusting Six or something.
Listen, I did vote for Trump, but I'm going to tell you one thing.
Get out. We lost everybody. People aren't subscribing now. Everybody quit.
Listen. Regardless, I voted for Trump for other reasons.
I did not.
But
I didn't vote for Hillary either. So.
Well,
and I did
I'm
vote.
right, he's left. It's how it is. But I'm saying is these people that live in Arkansas and Oklahoma and middle of nowhere, they enjoy Adam Sandler movies.
Is that who enjoys his movies?
I
like this Jewish guy from New York. They love Jerry Seinfeld
Adam
too.
Sandler movies, they're unwatchable. They say
their Rotten Tomatoes scores are like 7% every time, but yet commercially they did make money.
Netflix said it was the highest rated movie.
It was the highest rated Netflix movie. Isn't that ridiculous?
I watched it for about.
You watched it? Oh, I wouldn't put it.
Approximately 12 minutes.
I wouldn't even go near it.
This is the worst 12 minutes.
The only thing I saw of it was those videos on YouTube where the Native Americans are getting pissed off that he's making fun of, because they're all they're extras and stuff. So they're talking to like a producer and they're all like just regular people, and they're like, we find this really offensive. Actually, it's like, we don't think you have the right to do this. And then they one of them said, it's like, you don't see Adam Sandler making fun of Jewish people, and they were all like, yeah, and they had a point,
Adam Sandler make a comedy in the Holocaust. Let's see.
Oh yeah, no, I don't think they'll be doing that.
No, Adam Sandler does whatever job he can get, but he's getting paid.
He takes fat paychecks.
Kevin
fat
James,
paychecks.
Paul Blart Mall Cop. Had a sequel.
Sequel. Vic DiBitetto was in that movie. The famed Toodal is the famed comedian from Staten Island who does the "Gotta Get the Bread and Milk." I gotta get the bread and milk. It said snow. He you shaking your head? You don't know who he is?
Not aware, unfortunately.
You don't know who Vic DiBitetto is?
I don't want to grit comedians. I listen to a lot of podcasts.
I can't believe this. Living on Staten Island, you don't know who he is. He's the guy who does the "I gotta get the bread and milk." They said snow. He was in that movie. He was like a.
You just sound like my friend Mikey, Fat Mike, for those that are.
I gotta
aware.
get the bread and milk. They said snow.
Yeah, it's a Staten Island accent.
Yeah, but I'll show you the video of that made him go viral. But yeah, he's getting a little work. He does a little stand up and stuff. But he was in that Paul Blart Mall Cop too, where he goes to Vegas and becomes a.
I hope you didn't see the movie.
No, what are you nuts? I wouldn't go near that shit. I don't waste my time or money. But what a disaster. Oh God. Right.
No, but he's raking in dough. Racking
Of course he is. I mean, I guess I would take the paychecks if I were him. But the problem is that people go see these things. Critically they do terribly, but commercially they reel in the bucks. I guess even internationally they reel in the bucks.
Big Staten Island community now, Pete Davidson, SNL.
Oh yeah, let's talk about this. Why have we not talked? We didn't talk about this. This didn't happen since the last episode.
Unfortunately, I liked him. Some shit he killed at the roast.
Well, let's explain everything about it. Talk about it for a few minutes.
So this is Staten Island podcast. We're based out of Staten Island, New York, the Forgotten Borough.
Yeah, Forgotten Borough, New York.
We're mostly
City.
Congested, Crap Island.
Overpriced real estate, angry, bitter people with accents like this, you scumbag.
Yeah, everyone's in a rush to go nowhere.
Everyone's in a rush to go nowhere.
quintessential.
Beeping and cursing you out.
One of our local brethren made it bigger. He's a fairly successful comedian.
Pete Davidson. He's been on SNL for a few years. He's a young
the roast
kid.
is how you would recognize him.
I guess the roast. Well, if you watch
He's
SNL,
done the
you're
last
gonna
two
know who he is.
roasts.
Yeah.
With the two roasts prior.
Which roast did he do?
So he did Rob Lowe.
Mm-hmm. I gotta watch that one. Yeah. I don't think I watched that.
The roast prior was Charlie Sheen, I want to say.
Yeah.
He kills. His best bits was comparing Shaquille O'Neal with Donkey Kong. It was just outrageous. So anyway, we're a little kind of, disappointed him that, Staten Island is what it is. It's an aggressive place. It's not nice.
Right.
It's not recommended for tourists.
No.
But
until the big Ferris wheel comes and they're trying to make it like London here. They want people to come over on the ferry from Manhattan to enjoy our Ferris wheel.
I read actually on SI Live that they're opening a British bar in St. George that's gonna have like the London fare, London booze.
So they're really ripping off London with this thing.
People from London be like, "Why are we here? Did we get lost?
Hey, what's going on here? Why is there a big old Ferris wheel and a
Why
pub?
is that Italian man spitting?
Why is that Italian man taking a dump on the floor?
That black guy smoking Newports yelling at me.
Yeah, that's not Newports, that's crack. But
I can't breathe. Sorry, that's not a good reference. But.
Oh man. Sean takes it to 11 every time. But
He did some bashing on our home front.
So yeah, essentially, anytime Staten Island gets brought up, he rags on it. He rags on it in his
skit.
skit.
He did a whole Xanax skit on it.
He does a lot of skits. He'll bring up, Xanax, it's the place where dreams go to die, blah 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 blah. He'll do it in his Staten Island accent.
His father
like
died
this.
9/11, and that's a big
it's part of his.
shtick.
That's part of his shtick. Yeah, he makes like jokes about it. I mean, it's it's not too soon anymore. I guess
within
but.
comedians. If you're a Jew, you can make fun of Jews.
Yeah.
So if your father died in 11, you can make fun of it.
Of course.
So when you get leeway
Who's going to tell him no?
When you get leeway to do something taboo, you run
take
with
it. Yeah. Because just the shock value alone is going to get people to be like, "Whoa!"
Speaking of taboo, who kind of made his career with it is Quentin Tarantino. So he kind of announced he has 2 more movies.
Right.
And he essentially made his whole shtick of being not offensive, but touching slavery, Nazis.
Yeah, all those things.
He likes
and using the N-word in his movies like it's something to do.
I think Leo said the N-word. I don't remember off.
It's used so many times. He says it himself because he's in Pulp Fiction, Quentin, and he says it a few times.
Yes.
With the ER at the end. Yes.
Dead nigger storage.
Oh my God! Did you have to say it, Sean? I gotta bleep you.
A movie reference.
All right, yeah, but he says political. It, and he's like, "Is there a sign?" And he says it a few times.
He's wearing his bathrobe.
Yeah, he's wearing his bathrobe, having his
schmuck.
Coffee, and Sam Jackson's like, "Come on, I didn't see a sign like that. I didn't see no sign like that."
Brilliant scene. It really is.
I love every bit of that
movie.
movie.
Where the fuck is this coming from?
He whips out dialogue that's like, because it's in the same way Seinfeld. They're conversations about nothing. That's kind of how. Same way.
It's like a gritty, like racial, offensive nothing.
Yeah.
It's like Seinfeld with being like behind closed doors. Like, all right, let's discuss things that are
a little more taboo, a little more, racially racially not motivated.
Inglorious Bastards.
Yeah, this is an example. You know,
When he's drinking the tea and you have the family under the boards.
right.
It's such a powerful scene.
Oh, it's epic.
And he's like pursuing all these human villains.
Right.
Slavery, Nazis. But some of his movies have been shit. I'm not gonna lie. In Grateful Eight, was it called Grateful Eight?
No, Hateful Eight.
Hateful Eight. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Grateful
I saw
Eight.
it. I was kind of sleeping through it.
It was terrible.
What about Django Unchained? What did you think of that? That was all right.
It's all right.
That was another movie where I haven't really watched it in its entirety. My favorites are gonna be Pulp Fiction, Reservoir Dogs, Kill Bill.
Kill Bill was very well done.
Kill Bill's great.
And it was in this kind of pseudo-Japanese style, which I'm not too familiar with. But I love Kill Bill.
Yeah, kind of like almost like
he had all these different
Western,
characters. And
Japanese mixed with Western, and kind of. It's cool.
So
B movies.
What's Mr. White, who's in Kill Bill? I don't know. What's the actor's name?
You ain't Mr. White, you're Mr. Pig. Is that the one who dies in the car? I'm
No,
dying
the guy
here.
who cuts the ear off.
Oh, yeah. Oh, of course. That's what's his name?
He's Mr. White.
Yeah, that's damn it.
You don't know Mr. Pink, Steve Buscemi.
Yeah, of course. He's Mr. Pink. Mr. Brown. Mr. White was Mr. White's Harvey Keitel, right? Not that because you're thinking about Mr. Blonde.
Mr. Blonde.
Mr. Blonde. That's Michael Madsen.
Madsen.
Yeah.
He has a cool role. He's taking the guy alive in the. But he likes to keep with his.
Oh, in Kill Bill too.
Yeah,
that's Kill Bill 2, right?
Yeah, he likes to keep with his.
He
assistant
he gets the
actors.
same guys. Yeah. Not only does he use Michael Madsen a lot, he uses what's Tim Roth constantly. Coffee.
Tim Roth, yeah.
From Pulp Fiction, and he's also in Reservoir Dogs. I'm fucking dying here.
Well, Reservoir
I'm
Dogs, he
fucking
played
dying.
the biggest character. The
Yeah,
rat.
he was the
essentially.
rat. He was the cop. Yeah.
But that was a big twist.
What a twist! Yeah, it was.
Another
M. Night
twist
Shyamalan
like
style.
that was Usual Suspects. You're like, what the fuck?
Yeah, it was. What's his name? all
Kaiser
along?
Sosa.
Kaiser Sosa.
I saw the movie recently for the first time last year
Usual
on
Suspects.
Netflix. Yeah,
Oh, I've
avoided
maybe
spoilers too.
saw it maybe 8 years ago.
You always hear the
my
name
first time, 10
Kaiser
years ago.
Sosa.
Yeah, you
hear
hear
it.
that a lot. Yeah.
It's in lore, but
Sure. Pop culture. Yeah.
I avoided it. I somehow managed. The movie came out 20 years ago, and I managed to avoid spoilers, and I saw it. And
So what's his name? Is the bad guy?
Kevin Spacey.
Kevin Spacey. Yeah. And so he's not really a retard then.
He plays the whole gimmick.
Yeah.
He's actually masterminding everything.
Right. Yeah.
And it's funny is Benicio del Toro is in that movie. And he's young blood. He's got to be 22, 23 years old.
Yeah.
And his English is terrible, but he usually has bad English roles in many of his movies.
Sure.
But I think in that movie, generally can't speak English.
Yeah. He legitimately cannot speak
And
English.
he's a brilliant actor.
He's gonna be in Star Wars Episode 8, right?
He also might be in Guardians of the Galaxy 2 as well.
Well, he was in Guardians of the Galaxy 1.
He's a brilliant actor.
Yeah. He's good. Yeah.
I have high regard for him.
Sure.
And he always plays kind of a menacing guy. He's never
yeah.
like a hero. Never a hero. Never a positive role in anything he does.
I love him in Fear and Loathing.
Yeah, he plays, this is my lawyer.
That's the lawyer. What's his name? What was his name in the movie?
I haven't seen Fear in a long time.
Fear's on TV every so often. Wow, I'm looking at Fear. It's got a bad rating on Rotten Tomatoes, 49%. Definitely deserves better than that. I guess these critics.
But you know what? You have to be
You have to be a certain kind of person
mildly
to do it.
intoxicated to watch it.
I could watch it sober. It's just weird. If you're somebody who doesn't understand, I guess, the psychedelics of it, you're like, this
looking
is
at
weirdo.
dinosaurs and shit. You're like, what
When
the
they're all fucked up
fuck?
on acid. Yeah, he's Dr. Gonzo. Excuse me. Yeah. This is my lawyer, Dr. Gonzo. Oh my god.
He's a fascinating character.
Oh yeah.
without a
I love it.
doubt.
I love at the end. How much for the whole pie? The whole pie. When he's scaring the waitress. When he gives her the.
I'm not sure how familiar you are
Backdoor
with
Beauty.
William Burroughs' Naked Lunch.
Yeah. I know William Burroughs.
He created a whole genre. I think he's the one who influenced Hunter.
Probably, yeah.
They're all drug addicts
Yeah,
or
drug addict
authors.
Authors, yeah.
And he killed his wife. He was like gay. He was a bunch of shit.
Interesting. Oh,
But-
well, look at Hunter S. Thompson. He shot himself in the face.
Well, he said, "I don't want to be an old man." He committed suicide at the age of 70.
Yeah. Didn't so William S. Burroughs, he was a junkie too.
Heroin. Naked Lunch was his marquee favorite, most famous book ever.
Did they ever make that into a movie?
Well, they did, and it will creep you the fuck out.
Cool.
They don't even show it on TV unless it's like 2 in the morning, and
Really?
you'll find it on an obscure channel.
That'd be cool.
Don't show children it, and even don't watch it yourself.
Don't show. Matter of fact, don't even watch it yourself.
Not that it's bad, that it's trippy and offensive. It's strange.
What was that movie from the early 90s, 80s?
I want to say 80s.
Yeah.
He passed away, I think, in the 80s.
Oh yeah, no, 91. The movie. David Cronenberg did it.
He's at 97. When Burroughs died?
Burroughs died. I think 97. Let me see. Died in August 97. Yeah.
One of the very iconic podcasts, Iggy Pop discusses Burroughs' life on This American Life. It's one of the top 10 podcasts of all time. I recommend you check it out.
Slightly bigger than ours.
Oh, this podcast is renowned. But Iggy Pop, because Burroughs is huge in the subculture.
Sure.
And, Iggy Pop is also huge in subculture, so he does the narrations, and it's fucking massive.
That's cool. Yeah.
So, we didn't do too much pop culture today. We kind of went on some deviant topics, but...
We did. No, that's fine with it. Well, we did a lot of pop culture. We should also finalize our thoughts on Pete Davidson, and then there's one other topic I want to hit real quick. So what do you think about this Pete Davidson? So he badmouthed Staten Island in an interview. He said, "Fuck Staten Island. It could get hit with a friggin' tidal wave, and I wouldn't care. Fuck them all. They're all scumbags. Blah blah blah."
We actually both were in New Orleans, so we missed his Comedy Central special.
Yeah. But, lucky for us.
There's sort of a plight here with prescription drugs, and people dying left and right.
Mm-hmm.
Half his shtick was Xanax and making fun of Staten Island's pill addiction.
Very funny.
You can laugh at your own faults, and that's what comedies are. Comedies are self-deprecating. But
Sure.
At the same time, you're from here.
Yeah.
Shit when
He's
you
just
sleep.
bad mouthing it all the time now, but it's one thing to make a joke, but he believes it. He even said when he said "fuck Staten Island, fuck that place, it's got nothing, could get hit with a tidal wave." He wrote at the end of it, he said "end quote." Like he was not. It wasn't a joke. That's exactly how he feels, and his mom still lives here, and he bought a house here.
No, he definitely lives here half his time. When he films SNL,
Yeah.
you think he's not sleeping.
He dates Larry David's daughter.
If she looks like him, then
That's
shit.
exact. When I heard that, I thought of Larry David with long
You know
hair.
what? I think he's like, I can make moves with this. Larry could open some doors for me if I fuck
Naturally.
his quote-unquote Jew daughter.
Jesus Christ, Sean. Get out. Sean's been drinking too much.
Drinking? No. I said quote-unquote. When there's quotes, there's no offensive to it.
Oh.
But
Is that how it works?
Nah, that's a curious fact. I wasn't aware of that.
God. Yeah. But yeah, so he dates her, but I don't know. I was disgusted by it. Listen, he's young. He's 23 years old. I think maybe even 22. He's a kid. He don't know what he's saying.
So
He's a child. I'm gonna chalk it up to just youthful
the
ignorance.
final topic I wanted to broach was upcoming Christmas movies and Christmas movies in general.
Sure,
the
Christmas
season.
even Thanksgiving. Is there Thanksgiving movies out there? I mean, it's all intertwined, right?
Name me
The
one.
season.
I think that obviously Charlie Brown's the most famous that I'm aware of.
Yeah, the Charlie Brown thing is a Christmas special though. But let's see, Thanksgiving movies, because I can't think of anything off the top of my head. Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. That's considered. That would be one. So that's a good one. That's probably it. Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. That's probably
John
it.
Candy, rest in peace.
Yeah, rest in peace. That's probably it.
No, Charlie Brown Thanksgiving is.
Oh yeah,
without a doubt, is a movie.
it's on the list. Charlie Brown Thanksgiving, 1973. Maybe I'll watch those two on.
Yeah,
on
I mean,
Thanksgiving.
TV they always have Thanksgiving specials.
Sure,
but
of course, yeah. But they usually will start doing Christmas Story and stuff, right now, because that's Thanksgiving, holidays. You're in Black Friday now. It's Christmas season, instantly.
Well, they said Lord and Taylor's put their Christmas windows up today. Actually,
Who did?
Lord and Taylor in Manhattan.
Oh yeah, it makes sense. Yeah.
I think Saks will be next week. The tree will be up before you
Sure,
know
the
it.
tree will be up instantly. The tree goes up before Thanksgiving.
Yeah, I believe so. Yes.
Let's see.
It's like
I also
20
wanna see
something. Might be right after. I mean, it's November without a doubt.
that. When does the tree go up in Rockefeller Center?
I'll tell you one
November 30th but it'll be lit on November 30th, so it'll be up before then.
I'll tell you
they
what,
got to ship
Christmas in
ship
New
it
York
in.
is an iconic thing.
Absolutely,
It's
and I was
nostalgic
just
to me, and I love it.
I was just saying that to my girl. I was like, I hate this bitter cold, and I'm in years past. I've always been like, I can't take this here. I am gonna. I'm gonna vacation in the winter months because I cannot take this.
Oh,
this
I don't mind
20,
the cold at all.
10.
I'm a vampire. I don't
Yeah,
like the
no,
heat,
but
the sun,
you can deal with this single digit weather. It's brutal.
I lived in Canada. It doesn't bother me.
Yeah, but it's rough for me, and I dip out. But like you said, they're like winter in New York. As cold as it is, as long as the days are not single digits or like if they're like 28 to 40. It's totally decent, Just bundle yourself up and enjoy the season. I don't know. It's really not bad. In fact, I was telling, I kind of want to go to the Thanksgiving parade this year. I've never been. I think I kind of want to.
I went as a kid for years and years.
Did you? You went more than once?
I won the 90s. I don't
Really?
think I've been since the 90s.
See, because you think about it, it's like, regular Thanksgiving festivities don't start till the afternoon. People come over, you eat. It doesn't happen till 2 p.m. So the parade itself ends at what, noon?
I never watched. I watch football. I'm a Lions
True.
fan.
Yeah.
Lions.
But are they playing in that early in the morning though? Because
Lions are the noon game, and then
but the noon game. That's
Lions,
right.
Cowboys play every Thanksgiving.
At
and
noon.
I'm a Detroit
Sure.
fan.
So you're watching the game, but that's at noon though, because the parade.
Well, I
the
don't know
parade
about
and-
you, but Thanksgiving Eve's a big drinking.
I
night.
know. Well, that's it.
So I'm
but I
usually
know. But
hungover, watch the
well, you're
Lions
not
game.
in college anymore. You're gonna go out getting. I mean, I guess you might go out and get wrecked.
I work in the beer industry.
I
Within
have to. You don't understand. I have to get wrecked on
within
Thanksgiving
bar
Eve.
sales, it's the number one bar sales. It's
It's not bigger than
massive.
New Year's Eve.
Well, New Year's not liquor. I'm talking about beer.
Oh, really? We're splitting
Year's-
hairs here.
Thanksgiving Eve's massive on the bars.
Yeah.
It's huge.
Even
night.
bigger than what's it called? Like Patty.
You know
St.
why
Patty's
it's so
Day and
big
stuff?
is also everyone gets home. So
Everybody comes back to home and they
all
come
the
to
people
go
from
to bars the
college,
night before.
local
Yeah.
guys,
Of course,
everyone.
I mean, it's a huge college bar.
You're like,
boozing,
all right,
right?
I'm home for 2 days.
Yeah.
I want to see friends that I haven't seen.
Right.
Everyone goes to the bars.
Sure.
Everyone goes to the
yeah.
bars.
No, because
It's a
everybody.
big night. So I haven't watched a parade in years and years. I'm usually dying.
I'll
and I watch-
because I do like at least checking it out. If it's nice weather this year, I might suck it up and wake up early and go, depending on what I do the night before. Speaking of which, what are
Good
you
luck.
doing the night before? You going out and
I have
boozing?
a usually annual tradition to go to McSorley's when the oldest bars in
Really?
Manhattan. It's fantastic.
You doing that this year?
Do whatever.
Didn't you do last year? Didn't you stay on the island and
No, I was at McSorley's. You're
what
invited.
what was the what didn't you go to? I thought you
I've
went
done
to.
McSorley's. And then
What about the what was so what?
Then we do an aftermath at Jeremy's Ale House.
Oh, I love the Ale House.
Fantastic
I haven't been
spot.
there in a while.
It's,
Wait, you did the day aftermath there? I thought, or you do the pregame there because that
they
place
close
closed early.
Late. Oh,
No, they close
at
like
midnight.
midnight. Yeah, that's not late. The New York bars are open till
South
4.
Street Seaport, awesome spot.
Yeah, I love the
Recommend
Seaport.
for everyone.
I know. I would, if you're making plans, I would totally go out too. What did you do? Didn't you go to fucking Liberty Tavern last year and there was everybody there?
It was Christmas.
Christmas
Yeah,
Day?
Christmas the night.
Christmas
25th
night.
evening.
Okay.
Correct.
Yeah. Well, maybe I'll stay on the island this year because I want to go out.
Podcast listeners, we'll give a shout out.
Give a shout out.
Dennis Hogan, Tim Hederman.
Yeah.
They were
Hey,
podcast
guys.
listeners.
How you guys doing?
So we'll give them a shout out.
Give them a shout out. Yeah, I don't think either of them live in the area, right?
I want to say Philadelphia and St. Louis. I've been
Yeah.
to St. Louis for work but we'll give them a shout out to local
I've been
listeners.
through there. Yeah. Yeah. Shout out to the
Petrinian
guys.
brethren.
Yeah, old brethren, absolutely. Yeah, if they come back for the season, love to meet up with everybody.
But,
You notice we were at just talking about those two guys. We were at the Petrides reunion. Neither of them were there. Were they invited? What happened?
Tanner, it's hard to get a hold of.
Yeah, it's hard to
everybody.
get a hold of
But
them.
just to cap it off, so what's your favorite Christmas movie? And then we'll cap it off there.
Sure. I mean, I would say Christmas Story, right? You know,
Strong one of my favorites. I do really like Bad Santa.
Bad Santa.
I'm a huge Billy Bob Thornton fan.
Well, yeah, I got a few here because I'm looking at the list. It's like, oh yeah, I like all these movies. Like, obviously Home Alone. You know, the first, like Home Alone 1 and
Yeah.
2. I like the first one, and the second one's not as good, but it's in New York, so I like it.
Second one's good. It's not as good.
It's not as good, but it's in New York, so it gives it points. Not only because I live in New York and I love New York movies, but because it's in the holiday season, so it makes
F.A.O.
sense.
Schwartz.
Yeah,
I
that
went-
right. Doesn't even exist anymore.
I
It's an
went
Apple
there-
store now, right? What is
No,
there?
the Apple Store was there next to it.
Right.
You go underground. It's a
Sh-
giant
What
glass
is
box.
what is FEO Shorts now?
I don't know. I haven't
Nothing?
been that far uptown in a long time.
Because I was reading an article. I know that building got purchased by like a big, huge company. But yeah, it's no longer FAO Schwartz. The New York Christmas of the '90s is long gone.
I spent many a Christmas going there.
Oh yeah, that was the premium spot. I remember they had a big
Next
full
to Central
size
Park. It's just an awesome
right,
location.
on the east of Central Park,
and
right
you
there.
go in there, it was
Columbus
lavish.
Circle right
Giant
there.
Plush animal. They had like rocking horses that were 20
Everything.
feet tall.
I remember that was the first time I seen a full size Darth Vader costume, $5,000 that was for sale. I remember, and I'm sure it would be $10,000
You go there as
today.
an 8-year-old and you're just
Yeah,
mesmerized.
it was crazy. Yeah,
I
it was
want this. I want
Yeah,
that.
and also that, and also the Toys R Us in Times
Which is
Square,
also
which is also
closed.
gone. They just closed a few.
You know
Closed
what?
2 years
These
ago?
Amazons are closing toy stores. Huh?
Oh yeah, man. No, retail can't compete. I mean, how could brick and mortar possibly compete, especially in the most rip-off real estate place in the world?
But F.L.
Manhattan?
Schwartz was a Christmas tradition.
Absolutely. Yeah, that
Christmas
was cool
New York tradition, and I like that it though. I think Home Alone did like a knockoff. It was filmed in F.L. Schwartz, but it was like whatever.
no, I don't think it was. Well, I know the exterior of that. You're right. They did a fake. They should have just did FAO Schwartz, but they wanted to give the sentimentality with the owner of the place. So
it was based off
Duncan.
FAO.
Yeah, it was Duncan's toy chest or whatever the hell it's called, but it was supposed to be FAO Schwartz. But the exterior of that was filmed in Chicago.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah. So, but Christmas Story is probably maybe my number one. The Nightmare Before Christmas is good.
Yeah, but it's a Halloween movie. I think more than
You could watch it on either holiday and it works.
Tim Burton.
Tim Burton.
Genius.
Genius here. Bad Santa comes up on the list here of good one. What about National Lampoon's Christmas? You like that one?
Chevy Chase, pass.
What Charlie Brown Christmas?
It's all right. If I want to watch grainy, old animated movies, I like Garfield more than Charlie Brown.
Do you?
personally.
Yeah, it's the same shit to me. What about
Garfield 80s, Charlie Brown
yeah,
60s. I have a
Well, I think that this was the 70s when they did the Charlie Brown Christmas, right?
still.
Charlie Brown Christmas. No, you're right. It was 65.
I
Charlie
can
Brown
relate
Thanksgiving,
more to the
1973.
80s when I was wearing diapers than the 60s.
It's vintage. What about Gremlins?
I don't know. Fuck, you're talking about Gremlins Christmas? That's a movie?
No, no. Not Gremlins Christmas. The movie Gremlins was filmed around Christmas. Kind of a Christmas movie.
Gremlins Christmas.
a very
PG-13.
a very Gremlins Christmas. Oh,
You know,
they'll be
I've
raping
never
Santa.
seen Gremlins in its entirety.
the first one's good. Yeah, I don't watch the second one, although that's a cult one, but the first one's good. And what about Ernest Saves Christmas? That's not bad.
Ernest to me was a weak Pee Wee Herman. They were the same kind of
Quirky,
era.
wacky. Yeah, it was the same time period, like
I
80s,
was-
90s.
You liked Ernest, you liked Pee Wee. I was a Pee Wee.
You were
fan.
definitely a Pee Wee guy. I guess when you compare him to, I was more of an Ernest guy.
They're
But
similar.
I
They
love
had their movies.
I
They
love
had their-
the Pee Wee Herman's Great Adventure, the one with the bike.
Tim Burton's first ever movie.
That's great.
1986.
It's weird, and it's Tim Burton, totally
Did you
Tim
see
Burton.
the new Netflix movie, Pee Wee's Vacation? I think it was.
I haven't
called?
seen it. I heard things,
Pee Wee's Holiday, something like that.
something like that. Yeah,
You know what? Great.
yeah,
It was very. It paid homage to the character,
right.
and it got good reviews. You know, if you don't know who Pee Wee is, you're not. If you're new to Pee Wee, you're gonna be like, "What the fuck is this?"
Mm.
But if you grew up watching him, you would be like, "Wow, I like this." It's a updated version of Big Adventure.
Right.
Not as great. Big
Yeah.
Adventure's a classic.
Big Adventure's a classic. Yeah, that was one movie I could.
They
I could-
said he had to like tape his face
to make him look younger because he's wrinkly and shit.
He's in his He's almost 60 years old.
Yeah.
And fascinating with him is there's stories that he pretty much turned down SNL to focus on the Pee Wee character.
Didn't you have like a Pee Wee figurine or something as a kid?
Not sure.
Could have sworn that you did, maybe like a 12-inch or something.
Well, there was a famous Pee Wee doll had the little voice.
That
string.
was the one I'm talking about. Did you have that?
It wouldn't exist now if I did.
You totally had that because I'm pretty sure you had it. I remember you. Yeah, he would do the hi. You know, he would do all his.
He won like 5 Emmy Awards for that show.
Yeah. Yeah. The show. I
He
never
jerked
really.
off in
Went.
a porno
I-
theater, and then
Big Adventure's got an 89% on Rotten Tomatoes.
the funny thing is he got forgiven 20 years later.
Right.
But you know, long story short, if you have a lot of money and you're in the public eye, do not masturbate in a porno theater. which
Couldn't he
don't
have just
even exist
waited?
anymore?
Couldn't he have just waited for internet porn?
Do porno theaters even exist? I haven't seen one.
Not around here. Now they can't exist. How the fuck would they?
It's like a
possibly
video
exist?
store.
Yeah, exactly. It's like going to a Blockbuster jerking off.
Go and masturbate with strangers. That sounds
Yeah,
fun.
that sounds creepy. And the funny thing is that obviously that's what people are doing in there, but you're not supposed to. You're not supposed to.
My question is, why are the police in there? I'm on patrol.
To catch perverts, to catch people doing that.
They're like,
Which is such a
my
backward.
tax-paying dollars are police to sit in porno movie theaters.
I know.
Boom.
Like, there's not children in there. Like, let these guys do that.
It's disgusting.
At least they're
all
not
around.
raping
disgusting
people.
all around. But
It's
the
funny,
cops shouldn't have
ridiculous.
been there either. That's
Right. That's ridiculous.
You're go up to these people. You're under arrest.
Oh man.
Put your hands up.
Yeah,
Actually, clean them first.
actually, yeah. Here's some Kleenex.
Whatever. He was forgiven.
All is
If you're a
forgiven. He was
Pee-wee
great
fan,
in Blow.
Check out the new Netflix movie.
Yeah. Or
Fantastic.
rewatch Big Adventure. How about that?
Is there a basement in the Alamo?
Yeah.
You know,
My
I feel like
bike!
every Alamo tour has that now.
I know, right?
It's-
Somebody's got to say
The
it.
tour guy's probably so fed up.
He's
with
probably
it.
like, it's probably like
This
when
movie
you.
came out 30
years ago.
and I heard this 7,000 times.
It's probably like when you go into a music store and it says no Led Zeppelin, no Stairway to Heaven. They don't want you to play Stairway to Heaven because everybody goes in there and plays Stairway to Heaven.
Is
So
there
they
a basement
don't
in
play
the
that.
Alamo?
here. Yeah, is there a basement in the Alamo?
I'll tell you one thing. If I go on Alamo tour,
We got to go to the Alamo and do that.
San Antonio, I'm asking it.
Or we could be like Ozzy Osbourne and pee on the Alamo. Isn't that what he did? Did he pee on the Alamo? I know he peed on something.
He bit off chicken head, so...
No. Yeah, but he got banned from. Real quick. He sort of urinated on the Alamo, and he got banned, and he got
That's
arrested
like-
and banned from Texas.
It's like peeing on the White House. You pee on the Alamo.
He
it's
didn't know. No, he didn't know. He thought it was just a wall. He didn't know. He was wrecked.
Fucking loaded.
He was wrecked. He's like, I gotta take a piss.
I got
I'm
a leak.
gonna take a leak. Oh, here's good.
All right, to end the podcast,
Oh
I
my God.
had a leak story. So
God.
you
I'm
were
sure
actually
you
on the
did.
boat with me, but I was in the front.
Okay.
So over in the middle of swamps, Louisiana, I was going on a gator
Oh
tour.
man, so me and Sean are in Louisiana.
So we're a bunch
for
of
Halloween.
friends, a large group,
Yeah, we're in New Orleans.
and I'm topping a few off. I'm drinking my beers.
We're on an airboat tour. You know, you go see gators through the
So
swamp.
there's no bathroom in the swamp, all right?
Sean's boozing like an hour before. This is a 2-hour thing.
I'm drinking.
We're boozing
drinking,
on. We're
drinking.
drinking on the boat.
And I have to pee.
Sean's
got
gotta take a leak.
I can hold it.
There's 30 other people on this boat.
And
It's
this
a
is
small
about
boat.
25
It's an
minutes
airboat.
in, I can't hold it.
There's an hour and a half left
It's
of this thing.
either I have bladder infection or piss my pants.
Uromycetitis poisoning.
Great Seinfeld reference.
There you
Perfectly
go.
on top.
I'm perfect that you recognized it.
So I'm like, yeah, I have to fucking pee.
Yeah.
And I can't just put my dick out and pee off the boat. I'm with like Asian tourists and shit.
Yeah, there was a lot of people that would have been
So-
like, "Oh!"
I literally put a can in my fucking pants and peed.
Did I tell you?
on the
I don't
boat.
know if I would have thought about putting the can in the pants.
I had a maneuver.
That was a
but
maneuver.
You know what?
And we wear kind of skinny jeans, so how were you able to fit
The only
that?
thing I noticed was people next to me, which happened to be my friends, which worked out.
Luckily, imagine it was like other people
But
next
you
to
know
them.
what? I sat in the front row of the
Right,
boat,
which
so
was
I
lucky. If
got
you were in the
away.
middle row, it would have been tough for you to get away.
the row would have been like, his dick.
Excuse me.
But I got away with it. But yeah, when you're peeing strangers in the swamp, it's an awkward predicament. So, word of advice: any airboat, take a leak before.
Take a leak
Don't
before.
pound beers.
And that's the moral of the story. We'll be back soon with the Doctor Strange full review. We'll even do a Thanksgiving episode. I don't know what we could
Do a
theme in
Thanksgiving
Thanksgiving.
episode. We'll do a Harry Potter review, the new movie. as
Sure,
well.
your new movie, yeah. Yeah. I don't know what we could theme with Thanksgiving, but I'm sure we'll pull up a lot of shit. We'll pull up a lot of
Yeah,
stuff.
we'll be back, and the quality's better. Hope you
Perfect
guys,
quality. It's
forgive the last.
Yeah, forgive us. Keep subscribing, and follow us. Like us on Facebook. You can listen to us on Podomatic. Hey,
We'll get
even
the
give us a
fat man
review on
back
iTunes.
If he's not
Yeah, we'll get Fat Mike back on another review. I guess we get him on the Doctor Strange review episode. We'll hear his biased opinion on it. It was amazing. It was great. It was the best movie I'd ever had. Oh my
Marvel
God.
piece of shit.
All right, that's it for this week. Have a good one and keep watching the stars.